Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Chaos Creates. Thanks for joining me on my channel today. I'm here to share with you a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I am using one of this month's new release cut files. It's the Build a Summer Garden cut file, and it's just gorgeous. I loved this. So I've got this cute little photo of my son and his friend looking at all the new flowers coming up in spring last year, and I've cut everything out just with white cardstock. It's quite a thick cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and use some distress oxides to color it all in. And I won't show you all of this, don't worry, but I just wanted to show you some of it and to yeah, give you an idea of how I created this. So I'm coming in with some picked raspberry, and I have got all those colors out there. I will leave in the description below what colors I actually used. And so this cut file comes in layers. So as you can see, I just use my blending brush or my makeup brush to blend in that distress oxide. And now I'm going to go ahead and use this is a Dylusions shimmer spray, just as the color on the top. And as you can see, my son is, he's crafting on the floor while I'm doing this as well. He took the I guess you'd call it the stencil of where I'd cut everything out, and he was actually creating his own little creatures. So the bee um, and the butterfly, and yeah, he really enjoyed doing that as well. So that was a good use of the leftover part of the cut file. So I did, like I said, I cut this all out of white. So I'm going ahead with the bee and just coloring it in with a black Posca pen. That works really well. So yeah, I'm just coloring those in and coloring the wings in as well. I do the same for the ladybug because the background or the bottom part of the cut file is all in yeah, it needs to be black as well for that ladybug. So I'm just doing that. And then this one, I'm using a couple of the different purple colors. I start with the, what is that called? Villainous potion for the butterfly. Seb's little friend is wearing a really purple helmet, and I wanted to bring those colors out. So I'm using Villainous Potion for that bottom layer, and then the Wilted Violet for the, the outer or the overlay here. And off camera, I do go ahead and just spritz it with a little bit of, I think it's called Imagine Sheer Shimmer Craft Spray in a Sparkle. And I'm using, again, this Dylusions to color in the butterfly. I made the biggest mess. Like, I couldn't get it to spray, and then I just ended up using the nozzle. Anyway, my hands are still a mess. Now I'm going to go ahead and just stick down these wings. I wanted to add a little bit more to that, so I'm adding some vellum in the background there. And yeah, it's coming along. I do stick this flower down at off center because I was like, oh, I want a little bit more of it to stand out. I do go ahead later and sort of change that up. But as you can see, super easy to stick all these things together. You can create in all sorts of ways. I did kind of copy the color concept, I guess, from that image that Virginia created to promote the cut file, because I really love the colors. So I kind of went with it. But I will leave a link to that specific cut file down below. There is well and truly over 1,000 cut files in the Etsy store now for Confessions of a Paper Addict. So there's pretty much anything to suit your style. I really love this. Like I said, I did cut it quite large, probably larger than I potentially should have, but I love how it stands out on the page in the end. Yeah, so just sticking that down. Yeah, on most of those top layers, I did spray some of that shimmer spray. So it's probably not coming out on camera, but yeah, it certainly has a nice little shimmer to it. And this is just putting together the ladybug. As you can see, I've colored in the back. I've lost my tweezers, so I'm using these other dodgy pair of tweezers. I need to get in my craft room and try and find them because I really miss them. Just sticking all of that together, I'm going to cut out these wings. And yeah, this is where I decide, no, actually, I do want to line this floral up. So go ahead and move it around. And the same with this orange one as well. And so, yeah, that takes a bit to sort of line up, but it doesn't stand out. You can't notice that I've done that. It was just a dab of glue. And I guess that's what I've done in all these cut files. Just put a couple of dabs of glue so that you can still get a little bit of lift, especially from those butterfly wings. And the leaves, you can get a little bit of sort of lift by not sticking it completely flat to that background piece. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stick down these little wings for the bee, and that is so cute. Oh my God, I think you could make create a whole layout just with that, the bee or the ladybug. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So now I'm coming in with the Sweet Rush collection by Vicki Boutin. When I was first creating the with the cut file and coloring those things in, I didn't actually have a collection in mind, but I'm glad I went really bright with those colors, and so then this collection worked beautifully. So I've picked out this sort of rainbow striped pattern paper as my, I guess, border, and I already had a cut out sheet of I think that's 10.5 by 10.5 maybe inch white cardstock, and so I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the branding strip and then gut the center of this paper because it's too pretty just to stick that white sheet down on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and gut that. And yeah, I think this collection in the end works really well with the colors that I used. Yeah, like I said, that wasn't deliberate, but it worked really well, and I love the brightness. I think I mentioned before, I did sort of follow a little bit of the color guide in that image I posted at the start of the video that Virginia put together of the actual cut file. And yeah, I loved how it turned out. So I'm just going ahead and roughing up the edges of this white cardstock just to get a bit more texture happening. And I liked this stripe paper as well as a bit of a border for my photo. So it does have, I've printed the photo on my Canon selfie, and it has a white border around it already, but I just needed a little pop of color to make that stand off that white cardstock background. And then, yeah, for some reason I couldn't get my glue to work, so I'm pulling out this one. Seb's helping me by giving me my Posca pens back. Like I said, he was creating on the floor and had so much fun. He actually put together an album when I was creating this and really enjoyed it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that photo center on the page and then add those big butterflies. Now I'm coming in with some florals. Now these florals are fussy cut from one of the papers from the collection, and I'm just tucking 2 in either side. And then I'm going to go ahead and tuck in the rest of my my florals from that cutout from the cut file, and also sort of the leaves, and just tuck those in. Yeah, sort of framing the photo. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of understanding of where I was going with this layout when I started creating, but yeah, I really like how it happened and came together. So I'm putting the cute little bee on that big pink floral, and then the ladybug just on the corner there. Now I'm going through the die cut ephemera. I don't use too much because obviously I've got all those cut files that are beautiful on the page, but I did need a title. So I pull out that today. I didn't mind how it looked there, but then I found this other one that says, "Everything is fine when there is sunshine." And that is definitely true. So this photo was taken in lockdown last year. And so anytime the sun was out and we were able to get out and just enjoy it did make everything fine. So I've used the today down the bottom somewhat as a I guess a subtitle. So I'm going to go ahead and put a sticker here that says "Get out and explore," because that's what we were doing. The kids were on their bikes, we were walking, and yeah, just having a lot of fun. So I've laid everything out how I want. I think the layout, once I'd created all of those florals, the layout actually came together the garden cut files. Um, the layout came together really quickly. So I'm just going to go ahead. I didn't want to overthink it. I'm just going to go ahead and stick everything together and make sure that it's not moving around the page too much. And I do leave in the whole sort of sticking down process. I wanted you to get a sense of, yeah, I guess how I was putting everything down. I've mainly used sort of wet glue just to stick everything to the photo there. I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided tape just to sort of stick everything together as well and reinforce that. A little bit more wet glue, and yeah, stick that down to the background. And yeah, so I think that helped sort of aligning everything first and then being able to stick that down to the page. And yeah, I'm really happy how that's looking. And so then, yeah, this title piece, I wanted to pop up on some foam to make it stand out a little bit more. And it works really well, like the space of that cut file with the title works really well next to those butterflies. Again, just putting a little bit of glue in the center of those butterflies so that there is some of that dimension and lift. And I have got a few little smaller flowers just to sprinkle around as a little bit of, I like how Laura Alberts describes it as a little bit of, scattering, and then she does the splattering. And I really, I think I've taken a lot from that, and I really like how those little bits come together, and it really finishes off the layout. I'm using the Ranger Tim Holtz glue here to stick vellum down. Now, it's not perfect. It definitely creases, but in terms of being able to see the glue behind that, it works really well. So you don't actually see the glue behind the vellum. And they're all stuck down. Now I'm just popping up a few of those florals, those little scatterings around on some adhesive foam. Just need a little bit more to stick down that today. And yeah, I'm loving how this is looking. And then I decided to come in with some Nuvo drops just to put a couple of little drops around the, two floral pieces that I've created with that cut file. And I love how that looks. Probably not the best approach to do it then, but I actually didn't smudge it, so that was a bonus. And then I come in and decide to do some butterfly trails, and I like the one at the top just being straight. But then I kind of, I didn't like, I was going to do a bit of a loop with the one at the bottom, and it wasn't working. So I take my X-Acto knife and just scrape those away. Now you can't see them overly much. You'll see in the close-ups that I'll leave at the end of this video. I am using some gold spray just to splatter around, so you don't really notice that too much. But that's it for my layout. Like I said, I'll leave some close-ups. I've left links to all the products I've used as well. Oh, sorry, I've left description of all the products I've used as well as the link to this cut file. So thanks for joining me. I will see you in my next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.